This is BFB 31 and Last One Standing. I know everyone has a lot of things to talk about on the latest episode of Battle for Dream Island: The Power of Two, specifically the 19th episode. But first, I need to share my thoughts on the 18th episode, aka the epilogue episode of BFB. So TPOT 18 started with Lollipop sending a letter to Four that somebody stole her golden credit card, and she needs Four's help to find the thief and bring it back to her. So Ford pretty much forces everyone to go on this rescue mission to find the credit card, and they do so by going inside their memories. Whoever finds the credit card first back in the present wins the challenge. Why is it a challenge, you may ask? I have no idea. The episode never even bothered to explain it. In other words, there is absolutely no reason I'm turning this credit card mission into a challenge because nobody's winning anything from this. And that's the biggest problem with BFB 31. They try to turn it into a challenge episode, but it doesn't really contribute anything because nobody wins from this episode. None of the BFB characters join TPOT, they don't win Dream Island, they don't win a copy of a BFDI, and nobody said the winner gets to keep the golden credit card. What's worse is that Lollipop's role in this episode is pretty despicable. You see, Four accidentally sent some of the characters into other people's memories instead of their own respectfully. And Lollipop went inside Gelatin/Flower's memories where they're trying so hard to keep their collaboration afloat. And when Lollipop tried to help their steakhouse/flower shop idea, she pretty much locked everybody inside a building and all the investors die inside and Flower and Gelatin gets arrested for it. And this wasn't an accident whatsoever. She tried to sabotage them on purpose so she can get her credit card back. Flower, I kinda understand, but why would she sabotage Gelatin? I thought they were friends. It also raises more questions than answers when messing with people's memories. Like, if Lollipop actually sabotaged Gelatin and Flower's memories, would that mean their collaboration actually went bankrupt in real life and it has some long-term effect whatsoever? I really don't know what happened to Flower and Gelatin previously before the memory challenge, but if Lollipop interfered with those memories, did that mean all that stuff she did was real? Because of this, I ended up not caring about Lollipop in this episode or what happened to her credit card, because I already knew what happened to her credit card before the challenge actually started. Before Four sent everybody into their memories, Match wanted to hang out with one of her Free Smart friends and she chose Ruby. And at the end of the episode, Match was the one who stole the golden credit card. She and Ruby were pretty much the only prime suspects available during this episode. The episode does try to put in some important plot elements that may come into play later in future TPOT episodes, like Loser going on a quest to reunite with Winner, and Balloony accidentally went inside the announcer's UFO and gets sent to another galaxy. But the thing is, any one of those important elements could have been easily implemented in the future TPOT challenge-based episodes. In fact, one of them did in the next episode involving Loser and Winner. Think about it. TPOT 19 can easily open with Loser missing his old friend Winner, he goes on a quest to reunite with them, and then we get to see One unleash her next diabolical plan. It takes less than a minute to show that at the beginning of the episode. Was there anything good in this episode? Well, I did get some chuckles where Blocky failed to get Lollipop's credit card, and some of the scenes with Bubble and Match are pretty cute now that they're friends again. The scenes with Loser wanting to see Winner again are pretty nice, but again, they would have been easily added in the next episode. And I will admit, I was at the edge of my seat where the character tried to go into the portal back to the real world. It's not a bad episode, it can have some good moments, the animation continues to be outstanding, and if you do like TPOT 18, that's great, more power to you. It's just that, I find this episode more fitting as a standalone miscellaneous video than an episode of the main series. But with TPOT 19, it's actually one of the best episodes of the season! So in this episode, One is tired of waiting on Two's powers, so she decides to take matters into her own hands, feet, and decide to mess with the rift in the sky, making it more stronger than it was before, and one of the zaps hits the sky and now it's more dark and gritty. Two themselves is still unavailable, so Four has no other choice but to absorb some of their power and give it to some of the other TPOT players, which actually explains how Four and X are pretty much sending all the other eliminated players into their elimination place. But despite their teamwork efforts, they're still not strong enough to stop that rift. Either way, the show must go on, and it's time to let go of two more players from the Battle of Two. Team 2 and Do are both up for elimination because they didn't win any of Ball's Carnival games. Team 2 gets to go first because they have the lowest scores, But no matter who gets out in this episode, a dynamic duo will become a solo. But it's not Booker Price Tag, it's gonna be Snowy Grassy. But Snowball is only in the bottom one. Grassy gets to live for another episode. So I will admit, I was a bit shocked that Snowball got eliminated this episode. I thought he was doing so well on TPOT. But I think the real reason why he got eliminated is because he got too dependent on Grassy as a partner. What I mean is, in the last episode, Pin tried to form a conversation with his old bro Snowball, but Snowball doesn't really care about their reunion. He got too focused on Grassy as one of the strongest team members on Earth. It is cool that he's friends with Grassy, but there's still room for one more friend. If Snowball actually cared about Pin just as much as he cared about Grassy, he would have enough votes to stay in the game. He definitely was a strong player in Teapot, but he didn't have a wise social game. And now we come to do, where the 5 players will soon to become 4. But it's not gonna be Pen, not Tennis Ball, not Bottle, and it's definitely not Lai. TV is pretty much off the air. Oh, what a relief. And before you ask, no, I don't hate TV. He's actually a likable character. He was doing so well in the past few episodes. It's just that we already lost 2 of the best players on the music team, and we were getting down to the wire on who should stay in the merge. It's still too early to let go of Lai. Ball did a great job of hosting the last challenge. Pen's scenes were super emotional, and we still need Tennis Ball to deal with this one situation. I'm really sorry, but with one getting in the way with everything, TV was pretty much the only option available to just let go. And since none of the remaining cast cares about him as a mechanical mind, he decides to make a death challenge. The next challenge is a Battle Royale contest, where all the characters are pretty much gonna fight to the death. The first 2 teams to lose all their players will be out for elimination in the next episode. They are allowed to recover their teammates, but their extra lives will still be invalid. Yeah, a fight to the death challenge? That's sure to make the scary sky go away. But I gotta say, it was an awesome showdown. Whenever the characters get axed out one by one, Summon 2's power gets absorbed into the fire that actually defeats them, making them more stronger than they were last time. And many of the contestants use different ways to either defend themselves or find more weapons to defeat their enemies. There's one where Grassy decided to stay close to Pencil because before Snowball got eliminated, he recommended Grassy would just team up with the strongest player left in the game. But despite her objections, she can't seem to get rid of Grassy and decides to help him anyway at the end of the episode. I won't spoil too much on what happened to that part, but I really do feel bad about Grassy over losing Snowball and what he just went through during this episode. There's another emotional moment where Lai finally listened to Black Hole that he's not sabotaging her on purpose during these past few episodes. He's just trying so hard to keep his Deadpack team afloat. Although they seem to be on good terms for now, that didn't stop Lai on becoming a psychotic killer. Not only did she steal Tree's advantage token that Marker promised to keep an eye on it until the teams merged, but she eavesdropped on Winner Taggy's scheme that they recruited all the Teapot rejects to take down the remaining contestants, and she was all ready to take all of them down at once. I have never seen a one-woman army battle since Ashi from Samurai Jack, and it was super cool. And the funny thing is, the more I watch this episode, the more I get some Undertale vibes, specifically the No Mercy route. Remember Flower's philosophy that he thinks it's kill or be killed, and the decision to kill all the monsters is a psychological reflection on who you are as a person when playing the game? There's a bunch of references to that. We even get a scene with Jonah what Mettaton Neo's first attack may look like. And yes, let's bring up that One and Jonah meeting once more. It seems to be that One is not done with Jonah when making deals, and even though he turned down her first offer, that just made her upset then weak. But now it looks like she trapped him into a corner that he has no other choice but to make a deal with her by transferring some of Chu's powers into her. She revealed the truth that she was the one that erased Gady from existence. Remember that deal that Gady made back at the Seasonal Shift episode? She saved the universe in exchange for her own life. And because of this, they live in the world that Gady was never born. That's why Chu was unable to bring her back. And One says she can bring Gady back in exchange for Chu's powers that Donut has. Donut tried to retaliate against her, but it didn't work. That just made her upset and erased even more players that made a deal with her, like Basketball and Barfbag. Donut was freaking out over everything. He had no other choice but to give us some of Chu's powers into One. He tried to warn everyone, but the Force Horse ran him over. One planned ahead over everything. She knew what he was going to do. But wait, there's more. It's not just the Teapot loser that one got rid of, she actually got rid of Leafy. There was that one point where she tried to make a deal with Leafy, and when she rejected it, one decides to erase her from existence. She's not lost in the storm or anything. She's gone without a trace, like with Gaiety, Basketball, and Barfback. She even cheated during the challenge where she teleported Black Hole into her pocket dimension, and that somehow disqualifies him, even though he's still alive. But the biggest moment where I got chills like everyone else is the ending. So at the beginning of the challenge, Ford deciphered the whiteboard that Fanny had, and he already figured out that one is on the move, and he's trying to get rid of her for good this time. He tried to bring back all of 2's powers back into 2, but Pencil got in the way with everything because she doesn't want to deal with 4 anymore after what he just did to her back at the exit. And we get the thrilling major showdown slash Megalovania slash Flowey Azrael moment where Pencil absorbs all of 4's powers into her and blasts 4 off the building before 1 catches him. This gives 1 a one-on-one conversation with Pencil on how alike they really are and how much they want to get back at 4 for trapping them for years. She also told Pencil that she was the one that changed the rules so that she could join Teapot, and she really wants to go back to the way things were with Freesmart with Bug, Ice Cube, and everyone else. And 1 is willing to help Pencil to get a restart if she can give up some of 2 and 4's powers into her. Either that or give her a cameo in Nam Insanity Season 4. And just like Undertale / Weird McGinnon from Gravity Falls, 1 gets very creepy whenever she tries to persuade Pencil. And what was Pencil's reaction? She decided to blast her with all the power she had into her. I thought she'd actually obliterate her for good, but she didn't. She actually transferred all of 4's and 2's power into her, and now 1 is pretty much a goddess now. So, now that 1 finally has all the power that she wanted, I guess she fulfilled her promise with Pencil on getting a redo, and she used the rest of her powers to destroy the entire universe! The stars, that strange planet, she even kicked the Earth out of orbit! This is basically Weird McGinnon 2.0! The Weird McGinnon that Bill Cipher was trying to achieve during the series finale of Gravity Falls! It's just insane! I am still processing on what the rest of the contestants are going to do now that 1 finally won. Now that's how you do a Teapot episode, and this episode was definitely worth the wait. And if there's anything we can learn about winner and loser's reunion, there's still a glimmer of hope, even through the darkest times. So, what kind of redo did 1 give to Pencil? Can 6, Purpleface, Needle, Balmy, and Bill escape 4's head? And without 2's powers, are the rest of the contestants really battling for nothing? Well, you know the old saying, to be continued.